Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, we're Carli and Britta, the Garso twins, and if you like this video, please subscribe before you leave. We'd really appreciate it. Today we're going to be talking all about our 2018 beauty favorites. Okay, so I just want to preface this by saying that how we do our beauty favorites is we pick one item or one or two from each category of like every makeup category, and then we're gonna do like one skincare, one hair care, things like that. And this is not necessarily things that were released in 2018, but just that we discovered or just our favorite. Like some of these are repeats from last year, others have been released this year, others are even older than a few years. Basically just our favorite in each category that we've used time and time again through 2018. Yeah, like the most used products of 2018 for sure. Okay, so for primer, we have kind of an interesting one, but I discovered this combo early on in the year, and it has been like the best thing that I've done in my routine this entire year, and that's this combo. It is the L'Oreal Lumi Glotion in the shade Medium, which is basically just a glowy lotion in a little bit of a deeper shade than my skin tone. It's so beautiful on its own, but I mix it with the Clinique for Men Face Bronzer, and Britta mixes the same bronzer, and right now, I mean, I was using the Herborian Glow Cream, I liked that, and this is the Fresh Face Instant Glow Luminizer, and I also really love this. So I kind of will just mix any glotion. Yeah, any glotion will work, but the L'Oreal is so affordable and it's so beautiful. Yeah, this one's really good too. I'm wearing it today and it just gives your skin a beautiful sheen. I don't like glitter, so this is really, really nice. I actually forgot, this is like one of the things I forgot to wear today, but normally I wear, especially in the summer, I use this combo. Yeah. Basically, the bronzer, I mean, we'll try to do inserts so you can see what everything looks like. It looks messed up, but it's this really deep bronze shade. It is a gel. Honestly, I have so much left. I know. Confused by it. It has a gel formula, and a little goes a long way, so I just like take the tiniest bit out, take, I'd say like equal parts though, and some of this, mix it up, put it all over my face, and it creates like the most beautiful bronzy glowy base for makeup application. And this stuff is so cheap. I think it's $19 and it's 2 fluid ounces, fragrance free. Yeah, I honestly feel like it would last forever. And there's a women's product that is identical, but it's like twice the price. So get the Clinique for Men one because it's a lot cheaper and it's the same thing. So love this base. Love it. It's so good. Okay, so for foundation, this year my go-to was the Physicians Formula, the Healthy Foundation. I have the shade LN3, and I love this foundation so much. I would say it's a true medium finish. I like the shade range. I don't think any of them pull too warm or too cool. Like, this is a true neutral shade for me, and I'm honestly almost out of it. Like, I don't know if you can even tell, but it's like I'm scraping the sides because I used it so much. It has SPF 20. It says it has a brightening complex. I can't really speak to that, but I just feel like this actually looks like skin on your face. It's such a satin, like skin-like finish, and it is pretty long wearing. It doesn't like rub off if you set it with powder. It just looks so beautiful. I feel like it photographs well. Actually, the first time I wore this, so I think I started using it back in May or April. And the first time I wore it, we were at an event, and someone came up to me and asked me what foundation I was wearing because she loved it so much, and that's immediately when I knew. I was like, oh, this is a good foundation. I just haven't found something that covers the skin. I mean, I like a light finish, but I like that this is medium because I can wear it day or night. But I haven't found something that has good coverage, but also still looks like skin and lasts and has SPF. I just think it's the perfect combination of all the things that I personally look for in a foundation. Yeah, that's a good one. So I don't think I had a foundation favorite last year, and I technically don't this year either. I am just such a, like, that is a foundation. It's a complexion product, but it's really hard for me to find a foundation that I can wear like all the time. I'm such a like tinted moisturizer BB cream girl because I just hate how heavy foundation feels. The Physicians Formula actually doesn't, but I just really like the ease of like applying something with your hands, just like quick. So the thing I used the most this year was the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer. I got the small size, and I can't even remember where I got this from. I think Nordstrom. I don't know if Sephora has the small size, but it's a shade Nude, and it's an ounce. And I got this in March, and I swear to God, it is the most used complexion product I own, and I still have some left. And I don't know what magic that is, but
it was pretty thick.
Yeah, it is pretty thick. I mean, it's almost gone. Like, there's like barely anything left. But yeah, I really love this year. It has SPF 20. It is the one that I believe has oil in it because they have an oil-free one. So this is the original. So it's very moisturizing. Lately, I've been on the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue kick because I feel like that has a little bit more moisturizing properties, and it's winter, it's dry. But most of the year, I use this. I really loved it.
I really love that one too.
It's so easy to apply. It looks really pretty on the skin, like I'm wearing it now. Yeah, it's very light coverage. If you like medium coverage even, I wouldn't go for this because it's very light coverage. But perfect for me, and it was a big hit this year. And again, this is an old product. It's been around forever, but I discovered it this year. For concealer, this is the same favorite I had last year, the Tarte Shape Tape, and I really need to get a new one. I'm almost out of this. I used the shade Light Neutral, and honestly, I've tried so many. Actually, quick mention, I don't have it with me, but I want to give a shout out to the Joa concealer because that's my favorite drugstore one, and it does really smooth out the under eyes, but it just is really light coverage. So this one I just use more often because I'm always like, I'm all about like a light coverage foundation, full coverage concealer. So that's why I really love the Shape Tape. It isn't like necessarily dewy. It will, like I have dry under eyes and so they look dry, but I find that they don't look as dry as with other concealers. Like I recently tried the Jouer one that everyone's been raving about, and that one, it looked so pretty when I first put it on my skin, but as it wore, if I didn't set it, it creased so badly and made me look old, and then if I did set it, it made me look so dry. So I just couldn't win with that one, and I just haven't had that same issue with the Tarte Shape Tape. I think I've tried maybe like 3 other high-end concealers this year and returned them all because nothing performs as well as the Shape Tape in my opinion. Okay, so I found a new concealer favorite this year. Tarte Shape Tape was my favorite last year, but I think I even mentioned this in last year's video that for me, it was really dry looking on my under eyes and just not something I want. So I discovered the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer, and I love this concealer. I wear it every day now. I hate the shade range. It is a huge shade range, but for some reason, the warm tones are super yellow and the cool tones are super peach. So like, I'm a very neutral skin person and it's very hard for me to find a shade. I'm in the shade Vanilla, but it is a little yellow for me. It's fine, but I just wish that they had some more neutral tones in the range. This is a really beautiful component too. It has a very similar applicator to Tarte Shape Tape. It's like this fluffy big doe foot. It blends out really beautifully. It's not as full coverage, I would say, as the Shape Tape. People said it's full coverage. It's described as a very full coverage concealer, but I still think Shape Tape is a little bit, because it's thicker. I think it's thicker than this. It has better coverage, but for me, I'm not really looking for like full coverage. And yeah, I can't really say enough good things. It's really hard for me to find a concealer I love. I will say I cannot set this. I just stopped setting all concealers under my eyes. Even though I do crease a bit with like every concealer, when I set concealer, my eyes instantly look 80. Like, I'm not joking. So I just stopped setting my concealer this year, and that has been a game changer for me as well. And with this concealer, it does set down eventually, and it pretty much lasts the whole day, even without powder. So, yeah, I can't really say enough good things about it. And it's huge. It's like 15 milliliters, so half an ounce. So will last me a long time, hopefully. Really great find this year. I'm actually one of the best things I found this year, for sure. Okay, so I do want to mention, now that we're getting into powder products, that all of my powder finds, like my powder, blush, bronzer, highlighter, are all talc free because I'm allergic to talc. So, and my eyeshadow find, because I do sometimes, for my face products, I don't use talc just because they go directly on my face. And sometimes if I'm wearing eyeshadow for only like an hour or two, I can use it if it has talc, if I just make sure not to leave it on all day. But I just want to mention that because I know, again, bringing up Tati, I know we talked about her in our weekly favorites, but she had a video where she was trying to eliminate certain ingredients in her makeup, and talc was one of them. And she spoke about how she like couldn't find a face powder that was talc free.
Oh, weird, because there's a lot.
There's so many. She was like that she liked, and I think there are so many good ones. My favorite this year was the Glossier Louder. I wish they had a different shade range because sometimes this looks a little light on my skin, even though it's the light medium. I don't know, I just wish they had like a actual translucent or just like different tones. But aside from that, this is talc free. I feel like it sits on top of the skin beautifully. like it's enough powder to set the face without looking cakey. As soon as I spray my setting spray on, it like just blends in with the skin flawlessly. And I got this a while ago, and I mean, I had actually to rip the net out because it was like so low. Obviously you can see I'm almost done, but it's lasted me a really long time. I think it's a great powder, but some other great talc-free powders are the Cover FX.
Yeah, which is my
Setting
favorite
powder.
last year. I do still love that one.
Yeah, that one, and
People really like the Milk Makeup.
the Milk Makeup is talc-free. The Hourglass powder, that new one, is talc-free. So I haven't tried those. I want to try the Hourglass one really badly. If you've tried it, actually, a few of you actually recommended it in the comments recently, so I really want to try that one next. But yeah, there's some really good talc-free powder options if you're actually looking to transition as well. But the Glossier powder I think is affordable. The packaging is so cute. It lasted me a really long time, and it just looks really nice on the skin. My powder favorite is not talc-free, but it's probably the most beloved powder there is. It's the Laura Mercier translucent powder, and believe it or not, up until this year, we had not tried this powder. Laura Mercier kindly started sending us PR, so we got this early on in the year.
Yeah.
And I was really impressed. Britta can't really use it. I mean,
You've tried it.
I've tried it and I liked it, but yeah, it's just, I just think it's too risky to use on my direct skin. Yeah. But for me, like, I was really blown away by the smoothing and like blurring powers of this powder. I don't know if that is the talc or what it is, because I really love the Cover FX powder, but for some reason I think this one blurs my skin more. I'm wearing it right now and it seems to like blur my pores, blur my fine lines. I don't know what it is, but it just does things to your skin. I think the hype is real. I used to be like, that can't be worth the money, but I actually do think it's worth the money.
It's soft. It's a soft powder.
Yeah, it's really soft. It almost is like creamy. It's really, yeah. And this also, I have the shade translucent. It's huge. It's massive. I have the shade translucent, but they have like a translucent deep, I believe. So hopefully if it can transcend a lot of skin tones. So if you have been wanting to try this powder, I really recommend it. But again, if you are looking for something talc free, because I know a lot of people are kind of changing up their ingredients, this has talc in it, so don't reach for it. Okay, I believe this is my bronzer choice last year because this is like my all-around favorite product. I've spoken about this so many times. This is the Bare Minerals Invisible Bronzer, and this is, I just recently purchased this new one because I had ran out, but I feel like one of these will last me almost a full year. So it's so good because it's less than $30, and I have the shade medium because for me this undertone is more neutral and it just fits my skin tone more, and I have light skin, but the medium works just fine for me because it's a very buildable bronzer. You can just do like a really light layer, light wash of color, or you can really build it up. It has this baked formula, so it has a really nice sheen to it, but it's not glittery by any means. It just looks very fresh-faced and natural. It blends beautifully. This is just the best bronzer I've ever used. I've spoken about it so many times, but I think it's magic. It's so, so good. Everyone that I've recommended this to has fallen in love with it as well, so I know it's not just me like sitting here thinking that I'm the only one that loves this, because I feel like it has like a cult following a little bit at this point for the people that have tried it. But I highly recommend it. It's pretty affordable, especially for, it has 0.24 ounces, and like I said, it will last me almost a whole year, and I use it every day. It's talc free. Bare Minerals is kind of like a cleaner brand, I would say.
Especially recently.
Especially recently, so you can feel good about using it on your skin, and yeah, I just adore it so much. My bronzer favorite is super loved. The front is like rubbing off. It's my Marc Jacobs Tantastic bronzer. It's this huge beauty right here. It's massive.
It's so big.
I still travel with it because I love it so much, but I almost wish it was smaller, but it was $50, so I'm glad I'm getting a bang for my buck. This is such a beautiful bronzer. It is a very neutral tone. Hopefully you can tell. It's not very warm at all, but it's not too cool tone. It's right in the middle in that beautiful sweet spot. I think it's actually very like sheer and buildable. I use very like fluffy brushes to apply my bronzer, so that could be why, because sometimes when I see YouTubers applying this and they use a very dense brush, I'm like, how does that look so pigmented on them? Because for me, like, if I want to build up this bronzer, I have to go in with like 2 or 3 layers. But I love that because especially for bronzer. Especially for bronzer. I can't stand it when I have like too harsh of a cheek, or if I'm just like on very natural makeup days and I just want a sheer bronze. Like, it's really hard to apply a very pigmented bronzer lightly, but because this is so buildable, you can just easily build it up. So that's probably one of the favorite things I love about it. It's a matte bronzer, but it doesn't look flat. Like, it almost looks like it has a sheen to it. I think it's because of that like semi-translucency. I don't know how they formulated this, but it's just a really beautiful bronzer. It takes a lot to impress me with bronzers, and I'm very impressed with this one, and I'm really happy I bought it. I usually don't buy high-end items unless I'm like pretty convinced I'm gonna love it, and I've bought some things this year that I've just loved that were pretty expensive, and this is one of them, so I'm really happy I purchased it. Okay, moving on to blush. I feel like I have like a new appreciation for blush this year. I always loved blush. Yeah, like, love it so much. I used to never really love it, but this year I feel like I've purchased quite a few, and you've quite a few new ones that I really loved. Well, mine is so lame. Wait till you hear it, because it's not new. And but mine are the Burt's Bees blushes. The pan is falling out, so I'm trying to hold it. But this is the shade Bare Peach. I'm wearing this on my cheeks today. I fell so hard in love with these blushes this year. The other shade that I have is Toasted Cinnamon, and then they also have a pink one that I didn't buy because it's a cool tone pink, and I just wouldn't wear that as often. It looks pretty though for summer. It is. It looks pretty and very wearable, but the peach one is, I love Toasted Cinnamon as well, but I've been really using this peach one because I just feel like it brightens the skin. And these are only $10. You can get them at Target, Ulta. So affordable. They're 100% natural, and they're talc free, which is why I gravitated towards them. But they blend out so beautifully on the skin. You can build them up, but I honestly feel like I can use like one swipe, and that's even enough for me. Like, they're buildable, but they're also pigmented, if that makes sense, and they're really easy to blend out. I feel like they're flattering on all skin tones, and yeah, they did a really beautiful job with the shades. Yeah, they did, and I love that you can get this at the drugstore because, in my opinion, the formula feels so high-end. It just like feels almost buttery on your skin, or like looks very natural. It just really blends in with your cheeks, which I feel like it's hard to find in a drugstore blush. A lot of them are just very like chalky looking, you know? Yeah, I'm honestly, now that I'm thinking, like, they're 100% natural, I wonder what they're colored with. I know, yeah, I don't know. That's really interesting. I'm gonna look that up. Yeah, you can almost even tell it's like a satin finish. I don't know, like it looks... There's mica in it. Yeah. But they're so beautiful, and I'm so glad that Burt's Bees started doing makeup. I haven't really tried anything. Yeah, that was something that happened this year. Yeah, and people really loved it, like their lipsticks. Yeah. People really rave about those, so I really want to like dive in deeper into their line and like try more of their items because I love these blushes so much. Like, definitely one of my favorite finds from the year. Really happy that more drugstore brands are like stepping up their game. Last year, I believe I talked about the Glossier Cloud Paints, and I still think that was one of the most innovative formulas that has launched in the past couple of years. But when I was thinking about the blush I wore the most this year, I was like, I'm just gonna have to go with NARS Madly. I've owned this for 2 years now. This is not new to me, and it is not new in general, but it is the most used blush for sure this year. And I don't know why, because I feel like even last year I didn't use that this much, but this year I just reached for it all the time. I think it's just, it looks like nothing in the pan, but it's really beautiful once it goes on. It's like a bronzy, peachy, dim blush, so it's really buildable. I honestly think this would look good on everyone because it's barely colored. Like, yeah, like it's just really pretty. It isn't matte. It actually has a sheen to it, and if you've tried NARS blushes, they have a really beautiful sheen. I don't know how they do it, but they do a really good job. So yeah, I love this blush. I use it the most out of all of my blushes. I actually just got a Charlotte Tilbury blush, but I just got it, so I couldn't put it in this video, but I have a feeling it might be my favorite for next year. But yeah, NARS Madly was the thing I used the most, the blush I used the most. It's not new, but it's good. You should get it. Okay, for highlighter, this is the Pixie Glossy Gossamer Duo in the shade Delicate Dew, and one of the pans fell out almost immediately after I got it, but that didn't stop me from putting this in the Best of Beauty. It's so good. It's so beautiful. Pixie is one of those brands, I wouldn't even call them underrated because I feel like people appreciate their products, but they release things that are like sometimes just shining stars. Yeah. Like their brightening concealing pot, we've been using that for years. We love that. Their silky eye pens are so good, and this highlighter is the prettiest. I'm wearing it on my cheeks today. It just
I was gonna ask you what you were wearing.
Yeah, it's this.
It's pretty.
It just
I have it too. I have the other shade.
Yeah, this sunrise.
Yeah,
Subtle
really
sunrise.
beautiful.
It just like blends into the skin, and it's one of those highlighters that's a true like glossy look highlighter, where when you're looking forward, I feel like you can't really see it, and then it's like bam, it's there. It's accounted for.
And don't look at the pans and be like, oh, that looks pink or that looks like yellow.
Because there's really not that much pigment in
There
them.
isn't. That's the thing I love about it.
Me too. And
It's very comparable to the NARS highlighter, which I almost put as my favorite. The NARS highlighters that
but I
launched this
also
year.
love that this is a duo, so you do get some variation, and they do work with like all skin tones. Affordable, obviously you can get it at Target. Just like I was shocked at this formula. Like I don't know how they just perfected the highlight, but it's so beautiful. My favorite highlighter this year is a cream highlighter. I got super into creams this year, which I said I recently watched our last year's video in like preparation for this one.
Yeah. Watch it.
And I said that same thing last year, like, oh, I got really into creams, but truly, it's been a cream a couple of years. This is the Milk Cream Highlighter in the shade Lit. And you can't really tell. We're gonna insert swatches, like I said. It's this huge chunky stick. So how I apply this is I basically like dab one finger in here, and then I'll like dab it on my cheekbones, and then I'll use 2 fingers to just blend it out. And I'm actually not using it today because for some reason I noticed yesterday when I wore it that it is a tad dark for my skin right now. I'm very fair. It's the middle of winter, so excuse that. But most of the year, like I wore this nearly every day. Like I wore it so much, and I'm honestly shocked that I even have as much left as I do because
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. It's so big almost.
yeah,
Like
they actually sell this in a highlighter kit on Sephora, like a mini size. Oh no, they sell it in a mini
they
size.
sell it in a mini, yeah.
So when I'm done with this one, I might buy the mini. I'm sure it's not as good of a value, but it is really large. But it's such a beautiful highlighter. I would describe it as like a champagne.
That's what they describe it as.
Yeah, but not a light champagne. You know how some champagnes are like very light, some can be really dark. It's like right in the middle. Like could really go across a lot of skin tones. Like I feel like a medium skin could wear this no problem. I'm very fair like right now, and I wore it yesterday, and like I said, I think it was a little dark, but I could get away with it. You can layer powders on top of it. I've done that, no problem. It is so beautiful. I love this highlighter. I love it so much. I'm really happy I discovered it this year. It smells weird, like Play-Doh, but that's the only, just like their bronzer. We love their bronzer too.
Yeah.
I'm just really happy. It's $24. I think that's a great price for how much you get, and if you like cream highlighters or if you're looking to get into it, I think this is a really good place to start. Britta's gonna talk about one that
I just have to mention, I know
that we're only allowed one, but I had like a powder, so now I'm mentioning the cream.
But I want to compare them because I was gonna say,
okay. Yeah, we could do a swatch side by side too.
Well,
this one is a drier formula. The Flesh one that she's gonna talk about is way more emollient. So depending on your skin type, I think if you have like combo oily skin, you would like this one.
that's a good point.
If you have more drier skin, you would like the Flesh
Yeah.
one. Like I have really dry skin.
I love them both.
But I think this one, because it dries down a bit more, is like more universal for all skin types. Yeah, this one works really well with my dry skin. It's the Flesh Highlighting Balm in the shade Startle. My only complaint is
I love it too.
I love it so much. I love their packaging. I love the size.
It's really tiny.
Yeah, but I like that.
Yeah,
because then you can store it, and like who uses all this highlighter, you know? Like you're never gonna go through it all. I'm almost done with mine though. But regardless, I really love the formula. Like she said, it is really emollient. It's so easy to blend out with your fingers, and it just looks like a balmy, glossy magic on your skin.
It's called the highlighting balm. It's a true balm.
It is, but I just wish they had a better shade range, because this is even a little bit too pale for us.
Yeah, but
the pink one's too pinky.
Yeah, I have the pink one, and I like Startle a lot more.
Yeah, so I love it, but I hope they expand their range. That's why I didn't choose it as like my all-time favorite, because I just wanted it to be a little bit more warm, maybe dark, deeper, but very underrated. No one talks about those, and I think both those are. I think all of our highlighters no one really talks about, and they're all really good. For setting spray, we said we're going in the order that we apply things, and if you guys watch any of our tutorials, you know we like to apply our setting spray after we're done with our base, before we go in with eyeshadow and finish up the eyes. And the setting spray that I found this year and I really fell in love with is the NYX Dewy Finish Long Lasting Setting Spray, because I truly think it is a dewy finish. It makes your skin look very glowy and awake. I'm wearing it today. but it also is long lasting because it does have alcohol in it, and it's really hard to find a setting spray that's long lasting that doesn't have alcohol. That's just kind of like the nature of setting spray. But it also has niacinamide, which is really good for your skin, so it makes me feel a little bit better. I'm almost gone with this bottle, but it lasts me a pretty long time, and it's only 2 ounces. The sprayer on here is really fine. I can like spray my whole face and then like use my beauty blender to set it all in. And yeah, I just really love this. I haven't found a setting spray that's dewy that is long lasting, because I feel like a lot of the dewy ones have so much oil in them that they just kind of, they make you look glowy, but then the oil kind of breaks up your makeup over time. Whereas this one, I don't think it has any oil, and I don't know how they make my face look dewy, but I really, really enjoy it. And it's from the drugstore, so I feel like it's a hidden drugstore find. It gets really good reviews on Ulta, but I like never hear anyone talk about it on YouTube. I don't have my favorite setting spray here. I ran out recently. I have to repurchase, but it's MAC Fix Plus. Again, I've used this product for years. I do love MAC Fix Plus, but I just found myself reaching for it like every time I traveled this year, just whenever. I just love that setting spray. I had a ton of minis this year. Like I tried different scents, like the coconut one. I think I'm just gonna repurchase the original in the tall bottle. Do they have an unscented? No, they're just their original is like a mild scent, I'd say. But yeah, I had to repurchase it, but I love Fix Plus. It just makes your skin look so dewy and beautiful. I also have used it as a primer. There's glycerin in it, so it's like very moisturizing. Yeah. And yeah, it's really beautiful. I think everyone likes Fix Plus, or I would assume so. Has a really pretty nozzle. It travels really well because of like the click nozzle. They have mini sizes, so yeah, really love Fix Plus. Wish I had it here to show you, but I don't. Okay, next up is eyeshadow, and I want to mention that, well, first of all, my palette for the year is the Anastasia Soft Glam palette, and I want to mention that I couldn't find talc as an ingredient listed on Sephora, but they don't like advertise that this palette is talc free, so I don't think it contains talc, but I could be wrong. From my experience, it hasn't irritated my eyes all that much, so I think that it's safe. But I just think this is so beautiful. It's filled with the most gorgeous neutral tones. I didn't think it could get better than the Modern Renaissance. Honestly, I use that palette so much, but this one is better in my opinion. I love the mix of mattes, and I'm more of a matte girl, and all these mattes I use and love. And I also love that they have these shimmer shades. Glistening, I'm wearing all over my lid today. It just gives the lid like a really, really beautiful sheen without being glittery. And it's just like the true champagne shade. And then when I do want to wear glitter, these 3 metallic shades are really beautiful, especially this bronze shade. It's more of like true gold. I don't know why it's called bronze, but they just look so beautiful on the eyelid. It has a black and a cream, and I just think it's the perfect palette for every day. I've been using this every day, or every time I've worn eyeshadow since I've purchased it, because I love it that much. So highly recommend. Okay, apologies if you can hear beeping. Yeah. One of our neighbors is being super rude. Sorry. So I barely wore eyeshadow this year, but I've really been loving just little singles. I have this little palette I put together, but I'm going to talk about 2 of them right now. My most worn eyeshadow by far is Anastasia Caramel. It's this beautiful deep orange shade. I feel like the orange really brings out the colors in my eyes. You can hear it. We don't know if they're like waiting for someone, like honking. They're definitely honking their horn, but we had to film this video, so I'm really sorry. So it's Anastasia Caramel. Their mattes are so nice. They blend out so well. I think they're totally worth the money, especially since I wear it all the time, and I feel like I barely made a dent. I don't know how that is, but such a beautiful shade, especially if you have colored eyes. Highly recommend. And then my second most used shade, which I have now been wearing, not this exact one, for 10 years, which is so crazy, but it's MAC Woodwinked. I'm wearing it today. I don't even know how to describe this because it's like a taupey bronze. Yeah, like it, but it looks different on everyone. Like, it's cool toned though. Yeah. Okay, sorry for all the interruptions. I'll just start again with MAC Woodwinked. I've been wearing this shade for 10 years. I love it. Like we said, it looks different on everyone, but it's like a golden, bronzy, semi-cool tone shade. Taupe. It just looks beautiful on everyone, and it's a shimmer, but it's so like lightly shimmered, and it just looks beautiful. I don't even know how to describe it. Like it's like a sheen of color on your eyes. Yeah, it's definitely a sheen. It's not very pigmented. No, it's very buildable. It's like almost sheer. I love this shade. I always go back to it, and then I freaking love it. Like I'm like, this is such a good eyeshadow. It's why I've been wearing it for 10 years. It's so good. I actually think it's one of the better MAC eyeshadows. I discovered a few more this year from MAC actually, and I've been really impressed with their formula, but Wood Winked is like by far my favorite. It's so good. Okay, next we're moving on to mascara. I have 3 for different purposes.
Oh, come on. That's
going to
cheating.
go through them real quick. For my primer, I started using primer this year. I definitely think it makes a huge difference in volume, which I desperately need. And I've been using the L'Oreal Voluminous Primer. This is like $5 at Target. It's so good. It just
so good.
lightly coats the lashes, so it doesn't clump up at all. It's just a very natural coat of white before you go in with mascara. Then for mascara, L'Oreal Lash Paradise.
I have the same thing. Mine's in here because I haven't opened it. It's
yeah, I need a new one for sure. I think this is our favorite last year. Best mascara ever, drugstore or otherwise.
It's so good.
It's so good. It does dry out fairly fast. It gets thick, so you have to replace it definitely every 3 months, if not sooner. But it's fine because it's a drugstore product. And for the lower lash line, honestly, I never really recommended this before because it smells so strong. Like the scent of it is so like paint-like, and I just didn't know if I should recommend it, like, because you put it by your eyes. But I honestly haven't had any issues with it irritating my eyes, so I'm just not sure where that scent comes from. But it's the Wet n Wild Mega Slim Skinny Mascara. This is the best lower lash line mascara. It doesn't smudge. It just deposits the perfect amount of pigment on your lower lashes where they don't look spider-like, but they look black. And the brush, yeah, the brush is really unique on this. It really grabs all the lashes. And this is $5 too. So highly recommend all 3 of those. Okay, so we skipped eyeliner because we honestly don't wear it all the time. I'm not wearing any today. It's just not really something we wear every day. So we didn't want to speak on it too much because we do have eyeliners we like, but again, we don't love any. So we're skipping over that. We're moving on to eyebrows. And we both love the CoverGirl, it's just their brow pencil. Ultra fine brow pencil. I have the shade Honey Brown.
I like soft brown.
Yeah, that's a little bit deeper. I like Honey Brown. It's a little lighter. This is such a find. It came up this year.
Yeah.
I think you can get it for like $5 at Target.
Which is nuts. It's better than the L'Oreal pencil we've loved. It's on par with the Benefit pencil that I love, I think.
It's so good. The spoolie on the end is really great as well. It really grabs all the hairs. My one complaint with it, how many ounces is in this actually? I want to... Does it even say?
Oh, I don't see it. That's weird.
Okay, because I've gone through, this is probably my 4th one, if I'm being honest.
Really?
Yes, and this came out in like the summertime. Like
this is my 2nd, I think.
I go through them really quickly because there's just not that much product in here. So yes, it is cheap, but I just don't think there's that much product in here, which is fine.
She could be heavy-handed, who knows?
No, I don't think I'm heavy-handed, but this is the only brow product I've used since it's come out because I love it so much. So I don't mind repurchasing because it's still, even those 4 are like the same price as an Anastasia brow is, you know? So I don't mind repurchasing, but I will say when you buy them, like I recommend buying 2 because you'll run out sooner than you think. And that's the one thing with brow products, like you can't tell when it's getting to the end.
No, and it's like just something you use every day.
Yeah.
I think that's really it. Like
Yeah.
a lot of these products you don't use every day. So.
Yeah, but I mean, we haven't really touched on the formula, so real quick, it's very pigmented, not too pigmented. It blends out really well. I think that's my favorite thing about it.
I think it's more waxy than it is creamy, so it is buildable.
And
Blends out beautifully, yeah.
Blends out beautifully. Shade range is good.
Yeah, very micro tip too, which is I think what everyone wants.
Yeah, it's really, really good. And no one's really talked about this either.
I know, and it's amazing.
Okay, my favorite lip product of 2018. This is hard.
It's always the hardest.
Always the hardest because we love lip products, like lip balms, lipsticks, liquid lipsticks, all of it we love so much. And we all actually like have a good amount on rotation. Like I wouldn't say there's only one formula that I use over and over and then like just ignore the rest of my collection with like bronzer. That's definitely what I do. You know what I mean? So this was really hard, but I think my favorite product of the year were the ColourPop Luxe lipsticks, specifically the cream Luxe lipsticks.
Yeah, those were good.
These are so good, especially for the price. I think they're $7.50, $8 maybe. They are, well, the component itself is so pretty, and the formula is truly so creamy.
Which one is that?
This is What's Your Sign.
I don't have
I'm
that.
wearing it today.
It's pretty.
Yeah, and the shade range is huge. They have so many different colors now that you can get. I think I have 8 maybe total. So I have some of the matte ones, and we don't really like the matte ones.
No, they're so dry.
They're so dry, and we bought 3 of them each, and the colors are so pretty, but we can't wear them because they're so dry. But Foolish was definitely my most worn.
So good.
So good. I'll insert a swatch so you guys can see. It's like a really, really pretty terracotta, like bright terracotta. Definitely my most worn one of the year. And then What's Your Sign is what I'm wearing on my lips today. And this one is one of my new favorites. It's a really pretty nude shade. It's a lighter peachier nude. And yeah, like I said, I think that they're so, so beautiful. The formula is so buttery and creamy. You can easily blot them down to be more of a stain, but even when you don't blot them down, they wear off like a stain. Yeah, so they don't leave like that weird like inside like worn off type of look. They're, yeah, like I said, they're just so comfortable. I think they're like, the formula is so luxurious. Like you would think this is a high-end lipstick if you didn't know it was
Yeah, it's supposed to have a lot of butters in it, and I agree that it does.
It's so good. And there's one shade, Unraveled, that I've worn on Instagram before, and that shade is so pigmented and just wears so beautifully. It doesn't bleed. None of their lipsticks bleed, in my opinion. You can wear them without a lip liner. I like never found, aside from Bite Beauty, these are my favorite lipsticks. I think they are flawless. They're so beautiful, especially for the price. I just want them to like keep releasing more and more and more.
Me too.
Okay, I have two lip products that are very different, but these were by far my most used. So even though I do rotate lips a lot, like when it came down to choosing for this video, I was like, I wore those so much. Number one, which I wore, I mean, to every event, every wedding we went to, everything, is the Lancome Matte Shaker in number 264, Completely Nut. And basically you shake these up, and then they have this like, you gotta shake them real good or you'll just get oil everywhere. This sponge tip applicator, which is super weird, and then it goes on like very, yeah, yours didn't look like this.
No.
Britta got it recently and hers must have been old. Sephora kindly took it back because it did not. Yeah, they actually gave me a refund, so I still have it. And I was able to, if I shook it, honest to God, for probably 5 minutes nonstop. I was just sitting there watching TV because it was so oily and like there was no pigment. And once I shook it, it actually looked a little bit better, so I might try to make it work because it's not expired. I looked it up. It's not expired, but it's like an older one. Yeah. But this is the color. It's a very deepened nude. But because this product, it's really hard to describe, but it does have a lot of oil in it, but the oil mixes with the pigment and it creates this like, looks like a tinted lip oil when you apply it, but then when it dries down, it does leave a stain. It's like a true matte stain in my opinion. It is so thin because it has that like thin oil texture. Okay, sorry. Because it's so thin, it has like a very thin oil texture, but because of the pigment, it just looks like a stain. Like, it's very hard to describe, but it's just such a beautiful product. I paired it with my Bite Beauty number 036 lip liner.
I'm actually wearing that today under this lipstick.
It's such a good, I didn't talk about that lip liner because I feel like I always talk about it.
Yeah, broken record type of thing.
Yeah, but I paired them together. Like I said, every wedding I went to, I wore this because it just wears off so beautifully because it is a stain. I mean, it honestly lasts through like food and drink and everything, but it's so easy to reapply because it's just this thin veil of color. Like, it's so hard to describe. I wish there was more products on the market like this. I hope that in the next year we see more like light, very natural, like lip stain, sheer kind of buildable colors come to the market. I would really love that. Next is my favorite lip liner. I don't know how they make these because I think the formula is truly what I love about them. They're the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheats and I have the shade Pillow Talk, so iconic. They're called lip cheats because it says reshape and resize lip liner. You can truly do that. And this is the only lip liner I have found that makes your lips look like naturally larger. Like, I just overline on my top lip slightly, and something with this formula like makes it look like your own lips. It honestly freaks me out. I don't know how they do it. I don't know if it's because it is like pretty waxy, so it's like not budging, but it's still really creamy enough that it goes on nicely. I'm like doing a really bad job of describing both these lip products because I feel like they're such a unique formula. But yeah, I'd say it's creamy without being too creamy. It sets down so nicely, does not budge. Like, I have constantly just filled in my lips with this. I actually wore it in some of our last videos. That's why I'm not wearing either of these now because I just wore this in a video. The shade is beautiful. It's like a peachy nude, but has a little depth to it, so I feel like that just looks good on everyone. It is just so lovely. I think, again, it's so worth the money. I put off buying it for a long time because I was like, well, it's just a lip liner. Is it really worth the money? But I truly think it is. It's such a beautiful formula. Love the color. Love everything about it.
Okay, moving on to our favorite brush of the year. Mine is the Jaclyn Hill Morphe JH02 bronzer brush. I've never found a bronzer brush that, I mean, I'm sorry it's so dirty. I feel really bad. But you can see it's so fluffy, but also like I'm touching it and it's so dense that like, but this is the perfect shape. I literally just go like this and my bronzer's done. I can do my bronzer in like 30 seconds. It just deposits the perfect amount of color. It sheds a little bit, but that doesn't really bother me.
Like nothing.
It doesn't really bother me though because it's not going to stick to anything, you know?
Oh, it sticks to my face.
It sticks to her face, but I love it. I feel like I've never tried a brush that blends bronzer as beautifully as this, and it's affordable because it's Morphe. I wish, like, I mean, the handle feels cheap to me, but the actual like brush part is really nice, so highly recommend. My favorite brush is so universal. I love it. This is the Smashbox Buildable Cheek Brush. I bought this probably like 6 or 7 months ago. I use it for bronzer and for blush, and I honestly feel like you could even use this for highlight. Like if you were like someone that's like, one brush and I'm done, like this would be it. As you can see, it's not too large. It's not even nearly as large as the Jaclyn Hill brush. So it's more like for precise color placement, and it is so fluffy. Like I hope you can see, but it's just like there's like no density to it.
I feel like it'd work the best for blush, right?
Yeah, I mostly use it for blush because there's like no density to it. It truly is a buildable cheek brush. I feel like if you have a bronzer or a blush that's too pigmented, you pair it with this brush and it'll apply just the perfect amount of color because it isn't dense at all. So I love brushes like that. I love buildable products. I love buildable brushes because then you can't apply too much color. So this brush has been one of my favorite finds this year. I think the Smashbox brushes are actually super good quality, and I think they're not really talked about a lot, and I don't know why because they're expensive. Yeah, but I'm really just impressed with the quality. I think that the price matches the quality very well. And yeah, really happy with this brush. I use it for bronzer and blush, like I said, often. Okay, we wanted to mention our favorite beauty tool, if you will, of the year. Mine is really random, not intended to be a beauty tool, but I literally use it every day. It's the Travelon battery-powered fan.
As you get that away from my hair.
It's honestly so dirty. I tried to clean it, but I actually use this to dry my skincare as well, and there's like rosehip seed oil all over it. I might just purchase a new one because it was only like $10 on Amazon, but I use this every day. Like I said, I use it to dry my setting spray, so I'll just spray my setting spray and press it in with my beauty sponge and then simultaneously dry my face with this, and it just gives me like the most flawless finish. I'll also use it usually, well, in the morning and at night to dry my skincare because I'll do like vitamin C in the morning, use this, and then go in with my moisturizer. It just like speeds up the process, and I find that this is invaluable to me at this point, and I had to mention it because I think everyone could use it. If you even don't wear makeup, you could use it for skincare. If you wear makeup every day, you could definitely use it then for setting spray and things like that. So highly recommend this. Like I said, it's only $10 on Amazon. The batteries have lasted quite a while, if I must say. So I just think it's a really great tool to have on hand. Okay, I have two tools, but I'll talk about them quickly. Number one is my Shiseido eyelash curler. I love this thing. This was the year I started curling my eyelashes, and I wanted to invest in a good eyelash curler, so I bought this one, and I'm super impressed. Rach always raves about this. She's like, I've tried every eyelash curler, and the Shiseido is the best. I agree, and it came with like a replacement pad, which I just replaced after a year of use, and yeah, I have nothing bad to say about it. It's a great eyelash curler. It works amazing. And then number two is my black beauty blender. It's the Beauty Blender Pro. Last year I tried a lot of different sponges, and this year I decided to come back to the black beauty blender. It is my ride or die sponge. I think it works better than all other makeup sponges, including the pink beauty blender. I think the black is there's something special about it. I can't get away from it. I will always be a beauty blender user. I can't not use it. It's so good. Okay, for skincare, we both have the same thing. We had to narrow it down to one, and so we both picked Curology. We will link our full review video down below, but this is such a great invention. If you don't know what it is, quickly I'll explain it. It is a service, so it's a subscription service where you tell, well, they call them like dermatologist consultants, I guess. You tell them your skin concerns, what you're looking for. So like for us, we want to be preventative with aging. We have really dry skin, and I had quite a bit of pimples before. Yeah, so we also, I think we spoke about like large pores, especially on T-zone. So Originally, they gave us the same thing. So tretinoin, if you don't know what that is, it's an ingredient found in Retin-A, which is like a prescription retinoid that a lot of people use. And I've only ever seen tretinoin in Curology. Like, I don't know what other things it's in over the counter. But it probably is, but they use it in a lot of their concoctions. And then I have clindamycin and azelaic acid. And basically, they can ship this to you. I think it's supposed to be every month, but we often delay it because one bottle will last us like 2 months.
Yeah, for us. I don't know if we're using it wrong, but
I don't think we are. But my favorite thing about this is the texture. It's a true cream. I don't want to squirt it out because it's like wasting product. But it's a true cream texture, so I feel like it soaks into the skin, but it's also thick enough so you know that those ingredients are like staying on your skin. You know what I mean? So they're really doing their work. And I find that if I go a few days without using this, my skin definitely looks a bit more uneven. I might be getting like dry patches. Like, I feel like this keeps my skin exfoliated. It keeps it bright. I don't know. I just love, there's something about this I just think is so magical.
And I think the benefit too is like tretinoin, you can go and get Retin-A from your dermatologist, but that I believe starts at 10%, and you can, with Curology, you can go, not 10%, 0.10. You can go under that percentage because a lot of people are very like sensitive to tretinoin.
Yeah.
Like, that is not an ingredient that people can really handle.
This definitely burns my skin.
Oh, weird. It does not burn mine, but love Curology. You can customize to your skin needs, and they're really great to like email. It's easy to email. It's easy to change. Like you said, you can delay your plan at any time. You can cancel your plan at any time. This is not sponsored. We just really love Curology.
It's really great.
For fragrance favorite, we both have the same one. Last year we talked about Nirvana Bourbon, which we still love. But this year we discovered Glossier You, and we bought these little vials from Scentbird to try to save money instead of buying the full size. But we're gonna have to crack and buy the full size.
Yeah, because
we're
we're
pretty
both
soon.
almost out of it.
I know. It is lovely. And I actually watched 2 different people's full review of Glossier, like the entire collection, in order of like least liked to most liked. And both people put Glossier You is their #1 most liked product.
It's so good. It smells very like mushy, peppery,
but still fresh.
Almost like manly a little bit.
Very subtle, but also apparent at the same time. I don't know how they do it.
Good.
I don't know how
I
they
feel
do
like
it.
this is a classic fragrance. This will go down in history like Chanel
think
#5.
so. I
Mark
think
my
so.
words.
It is so good. Props to whoever came up with this genius combination.
Yeah, it's so delicious. We're gonna buy the full size shortly.
Yeah, it's amazing.
For my hair care item, I decided to go with Olaplex #3, the Hair Perfector. This
so
is
good.
a treatment. I mean, I'm almost out of this actually. Nothing fixes my hair damage like this. It's kind of strange because you have to put it on damp hair. So like get in the shower and rinse my hair just with water, and then dry it with a towel, and then leave this on for 30 minutes. Like brush it through, leave it on for 30 minutes. And it says not a conditioner, it's a bond builder, and that's so true. It really bonds the ends of your hair. If you bleach your hair like us, you know the struggle of just having your hair look
right now. It's so gross.
of having your hair look fried.
Want it to look healthy.
Yeah, we recently got it touched up, and mine looked so disgusting, like so frizzy. And so a few days after, I was like, I need to do Olaplex because it's gonna make it look so much better. And I was right. It just makes it look more alive, healthy, shiny, manageable. You don't get as many like tangles in your hair. It's expensive, but honestly, this little bottle has lasted me a really good while.
It lasts a while, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that, yeah, you need to like drench it, especially if you have long hair like we do. But it also, like, it says to use 1 time per week or 2 to 3 times per week for damage.
Do not.
No one has time for that, first of all. So I'll use it maybe once a month, and it still lasted me a while. So highly recommend if you bleach your hair like we do. Okay, my hair favorite is a blow dryer. I have been using really cheap blow dryers my whole life, and I really wanted to invest in something a little nicer just because I felt like all the blow dryers I was using like from the drugstore were really harsh on my hair, and it wasn't like a buildable heat. So I picked up the T3, I believe it's the Cura blow dryer. I'll link it down below. I got it during the Nordstrom sale, and #1, it is so ergonomic. Like, my hand fits so nicely on this. I don't know like who designed this, but it's just a really comfortable feel. #2, it's very lightweight and small, so it's good for travel, and it's also good for me because I'm not strong and I need something very lightweight and easy to handle when blow drying my hair. And then I really just love how it looks. I think it's so cute. There is 3 different heat settings, so you can go like very light heat, medium heat, high heat, and then there's 2 different fan settings. So like I'd say like an average amount of power coming out, and then there's like a low power coming out. So I don't really change that very often, but it's really nice. You can change the heat settings. It's super easy. There's a cool shot feature. I just really love this blow dryer. I saw that Tati said her hair got really stuck in this.
She said that it ripped out a chunk of her hair.
So if you do buy this, or if you have it, be careful, I guess, on this side, because it can really grab your hair. I've not experienced that, but she did mention that, so I wanted to say that. I think everyone, obviously, with all of these products, everyone has a different opinion and a different experience. So I love this blow dryer. Highly recommend. I think it's worth the money. I think it's really good. Okay, thank you guys so much if you made it to the end of this video. I'm so sorry
we barely made it.
It's hard because there's 2 of us, and so like if we have different favorites, obviously it's going to be pretty long getting through all these products, but we really hope you enjoyed it, and let us know if you tried any of these products. And also, you guys have been so good with the recommendations, so please leave them down below. If you have different best of beauty favorites that you want to share with us, we welcome them, so leave them down below for us.